Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. Chuckling a bit this morning because I'm running a little behind the ball here. I had some technical difficulties with the camera, it seemed, and got them fixed mere moments ago. So it's all good. It's all good. We're good here. So, hey, it is the end of July. Holy cow, can you believe that? We are wrapping up the summer. It feels like very, very, very quickly. I don't want to say this either, but I saw Halloween decorations and a few Christmas decorations already in some of the stores. Hold on, I got to adjust this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's moving ever forward too quickly, much more quickly than I like to see it happen. So before you know it, it's going to be Black Friday. And no, I don't know what's on the Record Store Day Black Friday list. So be aware of that. A couple quick hellos. Betty from Toledo checking in, saying good morning. Good morning to you as well. Steve, happy Saturday. Thanks for being here. And Pat, greetings from the camping wetlands. Yeah, with a little bit of rain last night, I can see that. We do have something in store for you, Pat, from someone you know, a mutual friend, Dan Corbett, saying, hey, good morning, and good morning to you as well, sir. So lots to cover, but not lots to cover. It feels like it was kind of a slow week for new releases this time around. We're coming off of that big week last week with the Greta Van Fleet stuff. And I need to say, too, that we still do have a lot of it. I'll show you that here in a second or two. For those of you looking for backup copies or the other variation copy of your new Greta Van Fleet album. Performance-wise, there's a couple of quick things here. Wanted to mention that if you follow the local news and weirdness that's going on, especially with the Auburn Corn Fest, which didn't happen this year for the first time in many years. Don't want to get into it. That's what the Facebook discussion and comment sections are for. But as not part of Corn Fest, but afterwards, there was supposed to be a concert by this gentleman by the name of Yunggravy at a Tall Boys and Tailgate, or Tailgate and Tall Boys Fest, or something like that in Auburn as well. That was canceled, but then promptly picked up by the Midland County Fairgrounds. And that show with Yunggravy, here's my thumbnail, is scheduled for this evening, tonight, at the Midland County Fairgrounds. And I got to be careful here because I don't want to say that Yunggravy is going to make an appearance in the record store today. I don't want to say that because he's not. Okay, he's not going to be here at the store today. So I'm not going to say that Yunggravy is going to be at the store today because that's absolutely not true. He will not be here, unless maybe his publicist or something sees this and decides to wander in. But no, he's not going to be here. So don't come in asking, hey, is Yunggravy here? And I'll say, where's my sausage gravy, please? Anyhow, no, he's not going to be here. I'm being a smart aleck. That's my way this morning. So we've got a couple of Yunggravy albums. For those of you who are heading out to the show tonight or curious about this one, it's a rap album. It's hip hop, however you want to say it. Not my bag, but I did listen to it, and it is there. So we've got Gasanova, got a copy of that, and we got a copy on bone vinyl of his latest called Marvelous. If I say that, Marvelous, if I can say that correctly. So check that out. If you're heading to the show this evening at the fairgrounds, make sure you stop by and pick up some vinyl for Mr. Gravy, or is it Young Mr. Gravy? I don't know how that works. Hey, speaking of shows, don't forget our friend AJ from 8-Armed Killer is going to be in Bay City tonight, the 29th, playing along with a great lineup at BMO's Sisterhood, Bastion, Fake Hole Band, and of course 8-Armed Killer. Now I have it on good authority that AJ and 8-Armed Killer is every bit on par as a rapper with Yunggravy. So see what I did there? No. Check it out. If you're in Bay City tonight, head over to BMO's and check out a great lineup, including 8-Armed Killer. Tell them Radio Wasteland sent you. And then of course, here's a cool show I can get behind because I'm going to this next week, Saturday, the 5th of August. Kim and I are going to go see Larry McRae in Bay City at Winona Park. That's the 5th. So that's going to be a great show. Last saw Larry McRae back in 2019 before all the weirdness started when he played the Freeland Blues Fest. I'd like to say he opened up for Samantha Fish, but we'll say that Samantha Fish followed Larry McRae because he puts down one heck of a show. If you got a chance next week, swing over to Bay City as well and catch Larry McRae live because we're going to be there. It's going to be a ton of fun. Don't forget, I still do have a lot of the blues album of the year last year with Larry McRae's Blues Without You. This is fantastic blues. So make sure you check that out. Okay, a few new releases this week. As I mentioned, I think it was kind of a quiet week for new releases. Oh, we'll get to that in just a second or so here. A couple of more hellos. Sean, yep, celebrate, not hate. Prince, there's some Prince stuff. Sean, did you get this? So check it out. Gary saying, oops, there we go. I'm kicking more technical difficulties. Good morning, Gary. Denny on the Alma side of things. Happy Saturday to you. Hope it's a great day as well. And Pat chiming in. Yes, that is a fantastic blues album. I will agree wholeheartedly, Pat, that Larry McRae is cool. So, but again, not a lot of new releases. We had a couple that we only had limited stock. They're gone, but we'll run them down here very, very quickly for you. Oops, I got them out of order. This whole thing's out of order. You can't handle the vinyl. There we go. Okay. I'm telling you, it's a Saturday. I don't know where things are going with this. Okay, the Budos Band. And one more hello, and then I really will get to the new vinyl here. Good morning, Steve. Check out our podcast. There's the plug with the Steve Carlson from the vinyl community and our podcast every Sunday and multiple places. But Budos Band, got a couple copies of this. I did open one up. It's called Frontier's Edge. I'm unfamiliar with the Budos Band until I opened it up, and my son had talked to me about them a little bit. They are going to be kind of that heavier metal, but with brass sound. A few weeks back, we talked about the Brown Sabbath from Brownout, that the group. That kind of a feel I get with this. It's very funky, very heavy, but a very, very thick brass line and just some great grooves going on this album. Problem is that I didn't realize this when I ordered a couple of them. It's a 45 RPM and it's only a 6 song. So it counts as an album, kind of, sort of. It's almost an EP. But if my only complaint is it's great music, but it goes by very quickly. So if you're into it, check them out. Budos Band, look up their music, but we do have a couple copies of this on black vinyl here in the store. Just some great, great funk on that one. But again, 45. We've got a reissue from Korn. It's their Untitled. This is a glow-in-the-dark vinyl jacket. I didn't try this out. I'm not going to fire the lights down right now to do so, but we'll take their word for it. So one of these in stock from the Untitled Korn with a glow-in-the-dark jacket if you're into it. Okay, Sean, here's the Prince. 2 new reissues from the Prince estate dropped yesterday, including Come and Love Sexy. So we've got a couple copies of these in stock and ready to go for you Prince aficionados who don't already own them. So you can get these. Maybe these are play copies, Sean. How's that? So come check those out. Another reissue that dropped yesterday was Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic, a 180 gram, I believe, on this. Ricky, don't lose that number. Pretzel Logic, Monkey in Your Soul. Lots of great stuff on Pretzel Logic from Steely Dan. So we got a couple copies of that. Some recent restocks. We got a Stevie Ray Vaughan, speaking of some great blues. Another music on vinyl copy of Couldn't Stand the Weather. Now, this is the original album plus a second album of bonus tracks, 11 extra tracks. Very cool stuff if you don't own the MOV version of that. Now, on to last week's as well. We mentioned the Greta Van Fleet. I still got a lot of copies. Maybe I over-purchased these, or maybe the folks didn't come in to get them all yet, but plenty of copies of Starcatcher from Greta still available, as well as posters if you haven't picked up a poster yet. So we've got a lot of the clear vinyl left and a couple of the glitter vinyl. The glitter vinyl was the more expensive one, the more limited edition one, but the clear sounds just as good. So stop in, grab your Greta stuff, grab a poster as well. In the gently used, we did get a hold of a copy of Battle at Garden's Gate, Greta's previous album. This is the black vinyl version, so that's on the used shelf, but still sounds very, very good. Okay. Let's see. Couple more here. Good morning from Jimmy Smith and his Wildest Ventures. Make sure you check out Jimmy's channel as well if you click on that. And hey, from Grand Rapids, Rick, stopping out Wednesday. Looking forward to it, sir. The stash is ready to go. All right, if you want to see the full list of everything that dropped last week, check out the drop video from yesterday. Still have a lot of cool stuff in that, including a lot of vintage vinyl. We brought in a smaller collection last week that had a lot of common stuff-ish, kind of ish, because I say that because it was full of audiophile copies of things. I mean, generally cheap stuff like in there. There's a Burton Cummings quad and some other neat stuff as well. and it's very clean. So that the batch that went out, and there's going to be a few more next week, very common, but very clean copies of stuff. But amongst them were these things, and folks asking, okay, what is a super disc? And Steve and I talked about this. He was in last week when these things came in, and we talked a little bit. The super disc is very akin to a MoFi. I don't want to say it's exactly going to be a mobile fidelity, but it is an audiophile pressing of certain albums through the 70s and maybe some into the 80s as well. So Columbia did their half-speed master series, and we did have one of those in the drop, the Simon and Garfunkel, but that is gone as well. But the Columbia had the half-speed masters, and Warner did something called Super Disc through a sub-label called Nautilus. So these are half-speed masters. My only complaint with these, I'm complaining a lot today, is that they alter the cover of the album somewhat. Now, the Columbia put their little half-speed master logo up top, but what the Super Disc and Nautilus did with the Warner stuff was actually maybe shrink and move the cover over a little bit and put that banner across the top that says Super Disc. Listen to the difference. So I know you don't listen to covers, and I'm all about that as well, but sometimes you want the cover to be very cool. That being said, the half-speed master version of Rumors, I listened to this yesterday, sounds fantastic. When you get half-speed masters, especially ones that are in the 40 to 50-year-old range, the vinyl has to be very nice for that audiophile stuff to really come through and make a difference. Listen to the difference. And these are clean enough to make that difference. So they're a little bit more expensive because they're rare pressings. If you can get away from the cover that they adjusted a little bit on this, you get a phenomenal sounding pressing of Rumors on this. And I can attest to this. I listened to this and the Cars and the Clapton that's showing here in a second. They sound fantastic. So not quite a mobile fidelity, but the half-speed mastering process, if you want to look that up, does give you a better audio quality, provided the vinyl is nice, which this stuff is. So we've got a copy of Rumors from the Nautilus half-speed master collection. We got a copy of the Cars. Listen to this one also, the Nautilus half-speed master. Sounds just as good. So some very cool stuff. And it's got the other Nautilus info in the back there. And the Eric Clapton Just One Night Super Disc as well. The half-speed mastering. This one is a double LP. So a little bit more expensive, but very well worth it for those with discerning ears as well. So let's see. Man of Many Voices saying, hey, Jim, good morning to you, sir. And Concert Buddies. Look what we have here. Concert. So if you are a listener to the podcast with Steve and I, stay tuned for some interesting announcement coming up with the Concert Buddies podcast. We're going to be doing something with that. We're working out the details of that this coming weekend, but we'll talk about that on the podcast coming up here as well very, very soon. So looking at the time, I'm coming up on it. I wanted to mention also that we do have a turntable in stock, one of the Audio-Technica LP60Xs in stock. They have been a rarity this summer. So I've got a silver one here this week, right now this weekend. And I think I've got a black model from Audio-Technica LP60X coming in next week. So if you've been looking for a turntable, you want to upgrade from that suitcase, now is the time to do it, because they're still going to be tough to get, I think, throughout the rest of the year. So let's see here. Man of Many Voices chiming in more time on the Nautilus stuff. More money for the same music. Yep, I get it. Trust me, I get it. How much do you want? But if you're an audiophile, sometimes those folks like that great sounding stuff. All right, we are going to get ourselves going for the day, get some vinyl spinning, get the new release show ready to go. That'll be up later this afternoon. The podcast with Steve tomorrow. So make sure you check that out tomorrow, Sunday evening. I forget exactly what our subject is going to be this week, but we'll get that squared away. And always have fun talking with Steve about that stuff. Don't forget, swing by for the Young Gravy stuff before you go see him tonight. He's not going to be here at the store at all. Trust me on that. Not going to be here. I'm not going to say he's going to be here. I'm going to stop before I get in trouble, because the last thing I want to do is tick off Young Gravy. I don't want to go there. Have a great day to yourself as well. And to all of you, thank you guys for putting up with me today. A little bit loopy because of the technical difficulties getting me going, but it's going to be a nice weekend. Not as hot, sunny, a little bit of rain maybe, but we'll get past it. All right, you folks have a great one. We are at 716 George Street, open from now until 6 p.m. this evening. Tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 noon until 5 p.m. Closed on Monday and Tuesday. You know. We'll be back at it next week. Lots of great goodies. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and we will talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland Records. Thanks again for being here.